sun rolling over acres of farmland, shining the light on the world I grew up in. No name dirt roads about to get torn up, all going down in a town you never heard of. Hey everybody, welcome to the Common Folk Podcast with Ben, Morgan, and Andy.
Welcome to the Common Folk Podcast.
A very merry Common Folk Podcast, right?
Yeah, that's right, man. We're almost there.
That introduction was good.
Yeah. I like the energy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He kind of went low, too.
That's all I had. I'm spent now.
Okay.
All
Welcome.
Well, Merry Christmas, everybody.
Yes.
We're out.
Let's
Peace.
see, what day is it? We're 4 days
Yeah.
as we're recording right now before.
And I'll get this one cut up and edited. We'll get it out tomorrow.
Get her out real quick.
Okay.
Thursday. We'll
Good
drop
thing
it
for
Thursday
you.
morning. Yeah.
We're finally getting our first real weather event of the year.
I was going to say, this is so fitting because looking out the window, snow is falling. It's a pretty snow, slow, big flakes. Yeah.
So they're predicting lots of snow. Is this everywhere or just in the Midwest?
You know, I think it's going to be a little, like the brunt of it's going to be a little bit to the east of us. I think
Oh.
Iowa's going to get hit way harder than Nebraska.
Okay.
But, so, you know about my new gig? I'm helping out the company as a whole.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I've been getting up at 4:30 in the morning and running down to Nebraska City to do the morning show on our country music
Okay.
station down there.
Is that why you look so tired?
Yes.
I'm kidding.
No,
I did not. Could not
I'm like
tell at all.
sleep deprived, but I'm jolly. I'm like on a runner's high or
Yeah.
something like that,
Yeah,
you know? I don't know where I am. But no, but it's been good. It's been fun. But that's the big thing is like every half hour I got to do these weather hits. And starting yesterday, everybody's been in a tizzy over it.
Mm-hmm.
And my report's like, well, it could happen. It's going to get cold and it's going to be windy with a chance of snow. Maybe. We'll see.
So you're a meteorologist
Meteorologist.
too?
Who's feeding you the weather data?
AccuWeather forecast.
Okay.
I get so I get it from the News Channel Nebraska newsroom.
Yeah.
So I'm constantly getting new updates, and
Mhm.
they're always, well, it was going to be something, and it still might be something.
Well, just like earlier, it was supposed to be noon. Now it's like past noon,
Exactly.
and it's barely starting. You know,
Yeah.
you never know.
Yeah. So yeah, I just make the plea to everyone: don't kill the messenger. I'm just reading the information put in front of me.
Okay, all right, we won't hurt you.
Either way, it kind of sucks.
Yeah. I mean,
Snow's fun,
I
but
don't mind
not
it.
the nasty cold that's coming. Like the
Right.
negative feels like 40 below.
The wind is the problem. Like we'll
Yep.
be below zero straight temp.
mhm.
But then the wind will take it down another 20, 25
yeah.
degrees.
Yeah.
Like the feel or whatever.
What did I see? So we got a low of about -7, -9 coming tonight.
Hmm.
But it feels like negative, like you're saying 33 or something
Mm.
like that.
Oh, no.
And that just, and it's the wind, and it's going to be windy.
Yeah.
You can almost guarantee that. And I think I heard or saw or read whatever in the Farmer's Almanac. This is going to be one of the windiest years
Mm.
on
great.
record for quite a while.
There's probably a lot of people listening that are laughing at us because you see stuff like up in Montana or whatever. It's like
Oh yeah.
negative
True.
50, negative 60. They're like,
Yeah.
you wusses.
Well, then you can go the other way and probably got people laughing at us in Hawaii saying like,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
low was 83.
I'm on the beach.
Yeah.
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 So, but this is one of the reasons I really do enjoy where I live, and I always have, because I feel like in Nebraska, you get it all. Hot summers, cold winters. Here it is snowing on Christmas. Like, I like that. I like the seasons.
There's no doubt that the changes are refreshing,
Mhm.
but the cold, man, it like,
Oh, it sucks.
yeah. And it's only refreshing for a very short period of time.
It makes you appreciate those warm summer days
It
even
sure
more.
does. Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
true.
Every
true.
time I hear someone bitching about, oh, it's so hot, oh, blah, 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 I'm just like,
You just want to slap them.
yeah, right. In the back of my mind, I'm like, I will take this.
So you would
Right.
rather be hot than cold
100%,
any day. I mean, I
100%.
would have guessed you would say that because you're always cold. Andy, hot or cold?
I would go hot.
Okay,
you
I
know,
would too.
Yeah.
But some
Mhm.
people our daughter would pick cold.
A lot of people are like that.
Yeah.
They'd rather wear layers and bundle up and this and that.
Yeah.
And a lot of people talk about campfires in the fall. I'm like, piss on that. That's cold. I like campfires, at night in the summer, spring, and maybe early fall. But
Right.
I don't need to be out there, freezing my butt off.
No doubt.
Speaking of fires, though, we actually have a lot of trees that we need to burn.
A lot of trees to burn.
Yeah, that are down. And we keep saying we need to do it in the winter when it's cold. So then we won't.
Oh,
Create
you're
a
talking about a
forest
bunch
fire.
of like brush and stuff
Yeah,
we've got.
so-
Yeah.
Oh,
Mhm.
yeah. Big
Yeah.
old bonfire.
Speaking of that, we do need to do that.
Now's the time. Now we got an inch or two of snow
Yeah.
on the ground. That's the time to do it.
For sure.
Yep.
So you would come out for that.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
And
As
then-
long as it's a big warm fire.
right.
Mm-hmm.
And you're in your bibs and then
Yeah.
you're by. Okay,
Yeah.
so that one's okay.
I did. I'll go with that. But I had a tragedy actually on my way over here.
Mm.
Oh no.
Right before I left.
You didn't get into an accident, did you?
No, nothing like that.
Okay.
But I guess you could call it an accident. I left my light beer too close to the garage door, so they froze
Mm.
overnight. And I was just wishful thinking, okay, it didn't freeze. So I popped the top and it was fine for the first drink, but then it started slushing and then it started gushing
Yeah.
out. I'm like, what am I doing
Yeah.
here?
That's what
Pretty
happens.
ridiculous. Yeah.
So they didn't like burst open.
No.
Okay.
But
You can save them.
as I was trying to, enjoy one,
Yeah.
it just kept like, expanding and pouring out.
I always wondered what the physics were of that. It's
Uh,
like it's not frozen until you pop
Right.
the top, and
Right.
then everything gets slushy like immediately.
I know. We should dive into that because I even was holding it and feeling it. I could tell it lost a little pressure.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think it's like one of those spray cans, that spray out air and they're
Hmm.
fine and then you keep spraying and the whole can gets so cold? You know what I'm talking
Yeah,
about?
yeah, and it's
Like,
the
and
same.
then
Yep, and the
something
can
like-
gets colder.
Yes, and you can't
gets
even
frost
hold it.
around it. Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah. I don't know either, but that's it was disappointing. It was
So for
disappointing.
you
Yeah,
big
so-
time beer drinkers, does that actually change the taste of the beer?
oh, I'm not that good at it.
I mean,
guess.
I think it just makes it weird because
Mhm.
it's like the
that does.
Afterwards,
Yes,
you
that
think they
does.
taste different?
the slush is
the water,
right? The water in the
and
beer.
The
Yeah,
alcohol's distilled.
Yeah.
Basically.
yeah.
Okay.
But all my good beers, and that's what I should have did. I should have just got a good beer, like one of my IPAs, because that wasn't frozen. That wouldn't have been frozen.
That wouldn't freeze.
Higher alcohol or something.
No, Coors Light, Busch Light, Bud Light, those freeze easy. But your IPAs and your local craft beers, like what I like to enjoy here
Mhm.
and there, those won't freeze on you.
Oh,
Way more
okay.
alcohol in there.
I
All
heard
right.
somebody joking the other day about that craft beers and whatever, and that's it's starting to gain a lot of traction. So you're a craft beer guy,
Mhm.
so you must shoot a 6.5 Creedmoor.
Yes. I have one.
Do you
but
have a man bun also?
I've been thinking about
He
it.
could grow it out. He's got enough hair to grow out.
I could try. No, I actually really got to keep the sides shaved up now.
Why? For being on air.
Yeah, and I got to wear a headset like this. When I call football and basketball games, and it just if I grow my hair out and I wear these headphones, then I got to go down and do a halftime or post game interview. It just looks weird.
You
Your
think?
hair. I think it does.
Okay, so you think so.
Yeah.
But what about, is your boss saying it does? Is it mandated?
Oh, I don't think he cares at all.
Okay.
What he tried to mandate years ago was none of this. No scruff, no facial hair.
That's the same with this guy, but that's for the fire station. So there is legit with the mask.
Mhm.
It can't.
Yeah.
It doesn't suction right, but on air they tried to say,
Right. They didn't think it looked professional enough. And it was basically a little uprising with all the employees, like guys that never did have facial hair to be, beforehand. They're like, you can't tell me how to wear my face.
so they started growing it.
Yeah, that's kind of what it felt like. But I don't know. At the time, I had a full blown beard going on. I'm like, no,
I don't think I've seen you with facial hair.
I'm in my 30s. You don't need to tell me if I can or cannot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I know on the other side of that, there's a difference between maintaining your beard or whatever you want to do and keeping it clean, clean shaven, looking clean. But if you're not upkept and you look kind of straggly, I get that. I
Yeah.
understand that. But as far as like just drawing a hard line, like no facial hair, I mean, what is this? The Academy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give me a break.
Yeah, for sure. And to rewind it a little bit in full disclosure, I own a 6'5" Creedmoor. So
Nice.
Oh, did you want
Yeah.
us to ask you?
no, I don't have a man bun.
Oh, okay. And you won't be able to grow one.
If I had a
You
man
own a
bun,
6'5".
I do have a 6'5".
Yeah.
it would be like my
So
man
what
bun.
am I then? A girl bun? No.
Well, I
Need
mean,
some
I
help.
guess that's what they're saying is that it's basically a girly man round.
Girly man.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
That is kind of a running joke with the 6'5". Is
Mhm.
it's kind of a
Who
ladies'
started
gun.
that? I'm like,
My
the
theory,
heck?
my theory is that the 308 guys started it
Okay,
why?
that's a good.
because they're like the 308 has been around forever, and the 6'5" is kind of like
Mhm.
stepping on its toes.
Yep.
And I think the 308 guys are like, no, I've
Yeah,
got all this money and time and effort and commitment into this round. No, that round's not going to be better than mine. You must have a man bun.
Yeah, there you go. It really is history repeating itself.
Uh-huh.
And we're getting down to a caliber, gun caliber discussion here, and it's kind of fun though. But it was the same thing when the 270 got legs.
Mhm.
The 30-06 people were like, what? I mean, it was dimed at the time. That's just a 30-06 for women.
Yeah. See, there you go. There you go.
Jeez.
So, and I remember our old town cop, that's exactly what he said in his gun shop. He was giving us a bad time when my buddies had a brand new 270,
Mhm.
taking it into the shop to get it sighted in and have it scope mounted, and he's just giving them hell,
That's
making fun of them in front of us. It was pretty good.
Well,
Yeah.
and nowadays it's not like you can say, "Oh, that's a girl gun." So this is throw the man bun on there, and
I
that's
guess, yeah.
Yeah. It's just a different way. I will say, and then we'll get into it, but there's one thing I'm very, very, I'd say proud or happy of. So this country music station is B103. It's down in Nebraska City, and it's straight country, right? A lot of country music, new, old, everything in between. So like Garth Brooks with Jason Aldean
Mm-hmm.
and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Remember a couple of years ago when Baby It's Cold Outside, the Christmas song, got canceled? Do you guys remember this?
Mm-mm.
but briefly, but I can't remember what that was about.
Okay, so there's a line in there where he's offering her a drink.
That's right.
And,
yes.
and he's saying, "Hey, you may have had too much, and maybe you should,
Come to my place.
yeah, or let
something
me,
like that?
yeah, just stay.
Yes.
Baby, it's cold outside. Just stay here."
Mm.
And so that got spun by the woke culture that date rape type of deal.
Yes.
All that jazz. And so it didn't officially get canceled, but a lot of radio stations across the nation just didn't want to deal with that that
Mhm.
loud
Mhm.
segment barking at them. So they just cut it. They just stopped playing that song. And here's something that's funny. At that time, back in 2020, when that was happening, guess what was the number one song on the Billboard, the pop charts for 2 months while this was going on? Just
can
God.
only
take a
imagine.
wild guess.
2020.
I don't know.
I wasn't really in the pop scene in 2020, so I'm not sure.
So you might not know this song.
No.
WAP, Wet Ass Pussy.
Oh yeah.
Whoa,
Yeah.
whoa.
Yeah. And you should hear the lyrics on that bad
It's-
boy.
Yes. I know what song
So
you're
that's
talking about.
that's the number one pop
That
song.
was the number one
Yeah.
song. And since Baby It's Cold Outside was offensive, it was what was getting canceled. Why that was number one.
Wow.
Nice.
How ridiculous.
But
And
Yeah.
then this station, you heard them playing it.
there's a remake with some modern day artists.
So they took that part out.
No. It's there.
Okay,
It's there.
okay.
And I love it. I love that we're playing that song.
Yeah.
Like just saying straight up, hell with it.
Right.
We're
I
gonna.
mean, it makes me want to sing it, but I can't
Yeah.
sing.
So,
Baby,
It's
But-
cold.
outside.
but WAP was probably like it was artistic.
Oh,
It was just
yeah.
an artistic
Yeah.
expression.
I don't cook, I don't clean, I have wet ass pussy.
Yeah,
That's one of the.
Oh, my
Isn't that the?
I think
That's the chorus. I don't cook, I don't clean, I have wet ass pussy.
I bet that's probably one of the lyrics. I don't know.
Oh,
yes, it is.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You have heard that song.
I have not heard that song.
It's not like you played it, but I'm sure it was on.
I mean, I'm not even trying to be like Mr. Cool Guy. I've never heard that song.
All right, well, we'll pull it up later for you.
We'll do the outro.
Let's do our outro music.
Yeah.
WAP.
But on that note, with it being the Christmas holiday season here, I wanted to just go around the table here and let's go over a couple things. Just pull something out of your hat, Morgan. What has made you merry this season? Think within the last week, 2 weeks, last couple of days. What has made you happy? What has made you merry?
Wow. On the spot.
Yeah, come on. Let's have fun with this.
I always enjoy family coming back, meaning we have a child that goes to
Mhm.
college.
Mhm.
She gets to come back. So breaks are nice.
Yeah.
It's busy for work. So that's
Mhm.
always a little bit crazy, but we at least take Christmas Eve, Christmas off.
Yeah.
And I just really appreciate being together. Now, an extended family too, that's fun over
Yeah.
the holidays, but that makes me happy until like I'm annoyed.
Yeah. There's a no,
Does that
but
make
there's
sense?
a there's a window there.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. No,
No,
I'm kidding. No,
but
it's
that's
good.
fantastic. No, so your oldest daughter's back
Yeah.
in town,
And so then-
she's around.
And not even just that. I
That's
think
great.
of, and maybe this sounds bad, but all the sports start settling down.
Yeah.
Like
Yep.
we all take a break.
Right.
Oh my gosh, what's it like to have
Mhm.
everyone home?
Yeah.
Again, you love it till you're like everyone's at each other, but
Mhm.
it's nice break from running,
Yeah.
from just the hustle and bustle. So I'm happy for that.
And that reminds me of I'm always listening to, and I'm part of a lot of sports talk radio shows. And one guy made the observation in July that it was the first weekend all summer that all the kids on the whole block were out riding their bikes, playing soccer and field hockey in the street. And he goes, you know why that is? Because this is that window of time where there's not baseball
Mhm.
Mhm.
and
Football hasn't
fall football
started.
hasn't started yet.
Yep.
And there's no club basketball, garbage going on.
It's so true.
And it was just, and he just took a moment to appreciate, just watch all the kids play I think it's great when kids can just be kids.
Yeah.
And maybe we should try to make it a thing where we do that a little bit more.
I agree.
But-
Yeah.
Now that's fantastic.
Yeah,
Those
so
are
that's
two,
me.
that's two really good ones. And that's something that comes around because of Christmas. You get Christmas break.
Yeah.
So Ben,
Yeah.
what's yours?
Yeah.
I didn't take yours?
I was trying to think of something while you were there and while you were going through that. And I guess that's maybe part of the point here is to maybe spend a little bit more time to think about some of those things.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking through it and all the stuff that we've been doing like the last few weeks. And I don't think that there's been a whole lot of anything that I've like taken the time to be like, this is great right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because the first thing that comes to mind for me is we're working our butts off because this is our busy time of year.
Yep.
So we're trying to get everything shipped. We're trying to get as much stuff out as we can, make sure people are happy for the holidays, get their
Mhm.
Christmas gifts, those kinds of things. So what has brought me any kind of joy is to see us get that done.
Yeah.
Get the job done, get the stuff out the door, to make sure that someone else is going to be satisfied.
Right.
So that's been probably most of the joy for me over the last couple of weeks. But there's been a lot of people in what I do here. I spend a lot of time dealing directly with the customers,
Mm-hmm.
Whether it be the brands that are on our website or the people who are buying directly from us every day. And I get a lot of interaction with people who are like super understanding, super thankful, super happy that they can even get something from us. We send them a response and they're like, oh my God, I can't believe that.
Talk to a real person.
Yeah. That you replied to me so quick and I get to talk to a real person. You're like, I mean, that kind of stuff, warms you up a little bit. It's a little more, makes it a little more enjoyable.
I was actually thinking about you guys the last couple of days where it is your busy time and you guys are just burning the candle from both ends.
Mhm.
But I thought, man, that's got to be pretty gosh darn fulfilling. Like a really cool feeling that everything you guys are boxing up and shipping out, you're making somebody else's Christmas.
Yes.
And
yeah.
I just got to think you guys got to sleep good at night because you're tired from working your tails off. But you're not just fulfilling orders. You're kind of fulfilling, gifts and things like that. And to have that be part of your daily grind, I just think not everyone thinks about it that way. And so I'm glad to hear that from you, Ben, that you have kind of put that into perspective.
Well, I think that's a good point that you're making there too. I mean, that can probably apply to just about anything. Is, what you're doing. You're doing something good. There's something good coming out of what you're doing, but we'll find ourselves, frustrated at the end of the day because of this or that or whatever. This didn't go well. That didn't go well. This person's bitching.
Yeah.
This supplier screwed up.
Right.
Whatever. And yeah, I mean that's always going to be there. But to your point, like, what about all those really good things that you're getting the privilege to participate in?
Exactly. It's a privilege, right? To serve, to be able to fill that order, to take that order and then complete it. Like you said, get it out the door in time, for folks to enjoy it.
Yeah, for sure.
I think there's a lot of different things coming together and they're all kind of feel good.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of work though.
No
You don't get to
doubt.
feel that good if you're not going to put in a little bit of the work to achieve that.
Very
No doubt.
true.
Yeah.
What about you though, Andy?
There's nothing in my life.
Nothing
to be
that
had.
makes you merry?
No, this is just, I'm the Grinch. He's my favorite.
The Grinch.
He's my favorite Dr. Seuss character of all time.
Is he?
Probably my favorite cartoon.
It is a good one.
The Christmas.
It is a good one.
I even like the two remakes. Jim
Yeah,
Carrey.
yeah.
I thought he was
Jim Carrey's
fantastic.
great. Yeah.
And then there was one that came out it was a couple of years ago. It was like a CGI animation.
Oh,
remake.
okay. Yeah,
But
I've seen that.
I thought that was pretty good
Yeah.
too. No, but
There's got to be something.
yeah, it kind of is right along lines with what you were talking about people coming together. But had a basketball game locally here, about an hour south, and one of my best friends from college, he was a quarterback for the football team. We hung out all the time. I ran down to Houston. He was from there, and then he moved to Auburn. Had a lot of family in Auburn. So whenever I do an Auburn game, I always text him. And I hadn't talked to him in a couple of years. He lives in Las Vegas now.
Yeah.
And I haven't seen him since Ashley and I went to Las Vegas, and that was before kids.
Okay.
So it's been a few a few years. And I shot him a text like, "Hey, I'm about to do the Auburn Bulldogs, and your cousin's a coach and all this other stuff." And he goes, "Hey, I'm actually touching down in Omaha."
Stop.
I'm like, "Are you kidding?" So we set it all up, and we met at Ameristar, the casino over there, and just had a really fun evening
Yay.
Sunday night. So I got to see Toby and we had a couple other guys that were football teammates of ours. They also came out and met us out there. And
Okay.
it was just a trip down memory lane. It reminds you that you have some pretty good people in your corner.
Yeah.
If push
Even
comes
if
to
years
shove,
have passed,
Yeah,
you
it-
can pick up where you left off type of thing?
didn't matter. It was like we just saw each other the day before.
Good.
And yeah, there's not a lot of people like that in your life when you really think about it.
Mhm.
For me anyway, I don't,
Mhm.
which I've taken these tests and all this other stuff. I have a personality where I can have a lot of friends, but I can't have like really deep friends.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know, call it a flaw or whatever, but Toby's definitely one of those dudes where we just hit it off. We get each other and, we haven't talked in like 4 years, and I guess you could look at that as, like, well, you must have beef or you must not like each other, but that's not the case at all.
No.
We're
Yeah.
just good. We're just good.
Yeah. I read something yesterday and it was just someone had posted something about, you haven't talked to your friend in forever, or you didn't call them to check up on them, or, all these
Mhm.
little bullet points. And it's
Yeah.
like, it's called life, I mean, you can,
Mhm.
and it can be years that have passed and you can pick up or you can hold a grudge, so
Right.
there doesn't have to be beef, like you said. So
Wait.
that's good.
It just, what made me think of that was my sister-in-law shot me a text message a couple weeks ago, and then like 3 minutes later shot me another text, and I didn't have my phone on me, and I was like working,
Yeah.
so I just don't have my
Hmm.
phone on me when I'm
Yeah.
working or driving. And once everyone got to the house and we're all together, I go, "Oh, hey, I saw you shot me a couple texts." She goes, "Yeah, I sent that to you like a half hour ago, and then I sent you another one like 25 minutes ago, and I just assumed we had beef."
Oh my God.
What? I'm like, no, I just didn't, I couldn't answer it at the time. And, by the time I could, you were here. So but that's the mentality a lot of people have.
Totally.
She was joking, don't get
Yes.
me wrong, but still it's like, that's the mindset a lot of folks have. Like,
Yeah.
oh, I guess we haven't talked in a week. I guess we're through.
And it's easy to do. So, like, I mean, I've done that too, but you
Mhm.
really have to think people have lives and they're busy. They're not just trying to be jerky. So throw some grace, but I'm
Yeah.
glad you got to connect with your friend. That's sweet.
Yeah, it was
That's cool.
It was really fun. It was long overdue. And Another thing that has transpired or happened since that time we were last out in Las Vegas, they have an NFL football team now.
Oh yeah.
So we're putting plans in to when either my team or Ashley's team plays the Raiders next, we're going to fly out there and try and catch a game with them.
Yeah.
What's your team?
I like the Chicago Bears because
Oh, that's right. You told us.
I'm a glutton for punishment,
Yep.
you know, and abuse.
Wait,
So,
and Ashley likes who?
the Buffalo Bills.
Oh, okay.
Now, they were in the doghouse for a long time.
Yeah,
Mhm.
but they've been good this year, right?
They're really good.
Yeah.
They're probably the best.
They're probably going to go Super Bowl. I think that's what Joel said a while ago.
It's either the AFC, their side has a lot of good teams, but they're right at the front. They're at the front of the pack.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be surprised.
Hmm.
So, yeah, that was really fun for me. And then I got a kind of like you guys, but on a little bit of a different level, as far as like a profession or you know what I like to do. In 2017, my partner and I launched a YouTube channel for our hunting show.
Okay.
And we've been religiously putting videos out there, short videos, long videos, full episodes. And it has just kind of sputtered. You know, we'll pick up subscribers and views just here and there, you know, nothing big. And something just clicked this last week with our last episode.
Uh-huh.
And we got over 1,000 subscribers now. And that's like a huge threshold.
Huge. That's for chasing the dream.
Yeah, for
right?
chasing the dream. And we have over 4,000 hours. So that means we can be monetized. Like we can
good.
and that was a big thing to Garrett. Like
Okay.
I'm also very, very happy for Garrett because he's put in this crazy effort and we've stuck to it since 2017 till today. It didn't happen until earlier today, actually, when we crossed that threshold.
That's so good.
Yeah.
That's
and-
what so many people don't realize is like you know, you have to stick with that stuff.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you've been doing
Takes
it, like
time.
you said, since 2017.
Mhm.
And it's not like you guys were just putting out like junky stuff here and there.
Right. I mean, this is all stuff that was going to air on the cable network.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys are putting on full on
Mm-hmm.
nice videos and episodes and
Mm-hmm.
with sponsors, you know, that like are just kind of helping you barely get by.
Yep.
You know, it's not like they're sponsors that are making you rich.
Right. That's for sure.
And just sticking with it, you know, and having that
Mhm.
that gumption to just be like, we're just going to keep doing it, man. Eventually something's going to happen.
And it did get, you know, tough at times. You're like, man, why are we putting in all this
Yeah.
effort? Why are we
Yep.
doing all this? And, you know, it's not like we weren't like a lot of YouTube channels where it was you just picked up a phone and, you know, kind of filmed yourself and this
Mhm.
and that. Like ours were, like you said, packaged to be a half an hour on the spot, you know, with commercial breaks and everything else built into it. So an awful lot more went into most of our videos than went into a lot of other videos out there.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of those other videos out there, we would watch and it'd be all shaky, you know.
Yeah.
The audio was way off. You could hear wind over them talking, and that would have like 70,000 views to our 200 views of a professionally done. You know, so it would get disheartening and tough.
Yeah.
But like you said, Ben, we just stuck through it, stuck it out, and we just kind of achieved, hopefully, the start. Now, you know what I mean? Like
Yep.
once a door opens, it's like, well, now this is the starting point.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And so it's like a new starting point for us, but it's a really good one.
Yeah.
And yes, I'm happy for me, but I really feel good for Garrett because that was his number one goal kind of when this thing started was he wanted us to be big on YouTube
Mhm.
and social media sites like that.
I've seen so much of that, and it translates to all things that you want to try to do and be successful with.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's so easy to expect that kind of overnight satisfaction,
Right.
especially with everything that we have, like instant gratification with our phones and looking something up online,
Mhm.
and whatever, all these kinds of things. It trains people like,
Yeah.
I should be able to get what I want right when I want it.
Now.
But the truth is that you got to put that grind in.
Mhm.
And it doesn't matter if you're building a business, if you're trying to accomplish whatever goal that you have.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that it's that way because it weeds out the folks who just don't actually really deserve it.
Right.
You know what I
True.
mean?
Yeah.
True.
You know, with the thing I do with my brother, the sports betting
Mhm.
show, and we've been able to climb some milestones with that too. And that's really exciting. I think there's more good things to come. But a lot of the shows that I was studying and kind of measuring up and like, okay, how do they do it? How long are their segments and commercial breaks and things of that nature? A lot of them weren't on the air anymore, or they just stopped dropping podcasts.
Really?
Yeah. So I'm like, okay, so my competition's already folded it up, like a lot of them,
Yeah.
And I think that's because of what you were saying, Ben. It's like, oh, well, we tried it for a month or 2 weeks and we're not big time. So God, that took a lot of work. Let's box it up and quit.
Right.
Mhm.
What was that you said something about country stars, and normally they're in Nashville for how long? Just
I
grinding
just
it
heard
out.
him
Was it
talking
like
about it on
9,
the
10
radio the other
years? I
day.
mean, that's
Yeah.
a long freaking time. I mean, think about that. And then finally you make
Yeah.
it, and how many people are going to quit in between? And this is like kind of 5. So,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. Well, talking to Eric Burgett, right? And he
Mhm.
was saying, well, they're telling me that it's going to take 10 years in Nashville
Mhm.
before a door opens. And I can see that, but it's also like,
Dang, that's
yeah.
10 years.
Well, and just think of all the hot little country stars out there.
Yeah.
Like a lot of them are in their 20s, not their 30s or 40s.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So like,
Yeah.
there's a, I don't know.
There's some that,
There's some
definitely.
There's some
yeah.
that
You know-
obviously make it before that.
Yeah.
But what I think a lot of us forget when we're talking about music too is I heard an interview, I can't remember with who, and they're like, oh, their new song. And maybe it was Lainey Wilson, and she was like, I've
Mhm.
been playing that song for 10 years.
Yep.
Like
Yep.
it just finally hit the radio.
Exactly.
But I wrote that 10 years ago and was playing it in bars when there was one person in there.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know.
You
It's
can
just
see
crazy.
it. No,
yeah.
it's going to take time. It's going to take a lot of effort, especially in something like that where there's so much competition now.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you have to wait for 10 years, to get a hit.
Seems crazy. Andy, you have some stuff that made you marry. That's cool. I said you have some stuff that made you marry.
I did. Yeah. And it just straight up came out of the blue. And like, it's just odd how things lined up. Like, I'm in our own stomping grounds, drove past our old college, Peru State College. So I was already kind of thinking about, the good old days and playing football. And then I just shot him a text out of the blue. And he's like, hey, I'm actually in town. What?
So cool. So cool.
It was really fun. And now we got plans to, catch up with them again.
Yeah. Good.
Maybe in about a year or so, try and get a trip out there.
Exciting.
So yeah,
Cool.
It is. But I just thought, being the holidays and you see a lot of stuff on mainstream media and not very much of it's positive. So I thought, let's take a minute and think about some things that are positive.
Yeah, man,
that
for
are
sure.
good,
Yeah.
It's that time of year.
Yeah. Wish everybody a happy Christmas from Farm Focus, Chasing the Dream.
Yeah.
The Common
The
Folk
Common Folk.
podcast.
The common folk.
I think it's been pretty cool, the people that we've had on this show. And they would all agree, like, yeah, we're common folk. And it's like, no, you're not. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I follow Corey Jones, our
That's-
very first episode.
Yeah.
That dude is amazing.
He
the
is.
stuff that he's doing and the quality of work he's coming out with.
Mhm.
And that's kind of part of the whole idea behind this is that like we're common folk. We
Mhm.
talk to common folk, we got common ideas, these kinds of
Mhm.
things. But when you dig in and you really start realizing it's like, yeah, these are common people. And there's a lot of common people that do really cool things.
Yeah.
But
Mhm.
work really freaking hard.
Yeah. I mean, you get these people who have, for whatever reason, get some major traction and become like national celebrities and whatever. And I think with a lot of them, it kind of changes them. But
Cornhole champion.
Yeah. She was on.
She was amazing.
Yeah.
yeah, well,
Jackie.
and she's
Yeah.
not an example of one that like that didn't change her. Like
No,
she
that
stayed
did not
true to
change
herself.
her.
But
Yeah,
my point
sorry.
is that there's a lot of people doing a lot of really cool stuff.
Mhm.
And those are the people that we talk to, and they are just regular people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
And as far as your original question, that just kind of reminds me when I think about it, like this with what we've been doing here, we're 40 something episodes in, I think.
Yep.
I think it's super cool and something that I'm happy about, in this holiday season, that people are just taking some time to listen and connect and feel like they're a
Tune
part
in.
of it, enjoy it. I think it's cool that we're putting something out that people like. you
Yeah.
know?
And that, people can kind of rally around and feel good about.
Mhm.
And we get to be part of that.
Yeah, for
you
sure.
know, and real quick before I forget, Jackie,
Yeah.
she's ranked number 1 in the world right now.
Really?
Shut up.
She shot me a text message a couple of weeks ago and said, I've done it. I'm the number 1 ranked player in the world.
How freaking awesome is
That's
that?
I know.
She was mind blowing. We even had a friend that was like, wow, I don't listen to a ton of episodes, but I listened to that one and she was awesome. I'm like, yeah, it's a great episode. She's a
she
baller.
Has all these things going on
Yeah.
and all these obstacles that are still in front of her.
Yeah.
She doesn't care.
Nope.
She's just going to get it done.
Yeah.
Episode 38. That was just a few back.
Yeah.
That's
she's
crazy.
super
Good for her.
interesting.
Yeah.
So-
Okay. So much to be grateful for. Yeah. Because honestly, when did we start this podcast? A long time ago.
Late February, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah,
You know?
that's exactly right. Episode
Yeah.
1 was mid-February.
Okay. So almost a year.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like this has been something that I never thought I would be doing. And I'm really grateful for it. It's been fun to meet a ton of people and
Mhm.
sit here with a mic in front of my face. I don't know.
Well, and you really do have to dive into it and think of your why when you're speaking it out,
Mhm.
when you're putting it out there. And Corey Jones actually put out a post, I believe, on Twitter or Facebook. I just caught it. And he straight up said, me answering those questions and having to talk through them made me put a different perspective on it.
Yeah,
Even
that's right.
as to you can
Yeah.
think of it in your head or,
Mhm.
do what you like to do, but until you actually sit down and answer to someone the why. Well, why are you doing that?
Yeah.
Why'd you get away
Mhm.
from, you had a good gig, you had your own company, driving, hauling gravel, you had
Mhm.
your own truck. Why'd you give that up?
Yeah.
And then he had to sit there and answer and kind of go through it.
Right.
So
I guess that's almost even better than, they always say, write down your goals and speak them, or,
Mhm.
but saying it out
Yeah.
loud
Yeah.
like he did and so many people, and we've been asking good questions, I guess. But it's also, it's just made me open my eyes to a lot of other things too. So grateful for you guys too.
well, thank you, Morgan.
It's been fun.
It really has
It
been.
has.
And Ben, this was your idea and you invited me on board and I'm like, I don't know, but okay.
It was a good choice.
Thank you.
Yeah,
It-
he's
it has
been
been fun.
wanting this for a while. It was just me dragging my feet. Not me, because I thought I wasn't even going to be the one doing it, but telling him not to do it. So
All right.
So with in on that topic, on the podcast topic,
Mhm.
we definitely need with the idea in mind of sticking with it, grinding it out, getting the things done, which we're going to do.
Uh-huh.
But we need a little bit of help,
Okay.
and we need folks to go and do the reviews. If you listen on Apple Podcasts,
Mhm.
go on there, do a review. If you listen on Spotify, go on there. I think you can put a review on Spotify, but I know you can put the
A comment.
stars.
Is
You can do a comment or
Okay,
whatever. Hit
yeah.
the stars. Do those things. We
Yep.
need those to help us get some traction.
Yep.
That's all we ask.
And it's more than just that. It exponentially grows,
Mhm.
So if you do like what we have going on here, giving us any type of review, that makes Spotify, Apple, Google, whoever take notice and play it more. But for me, it gives us a chance to go through those and actually see what people are thinking.
Yep, absolutely.
I bet there's 100+ people just within a 50-mile radius that we would love to have on the show.
Mhm.
Oh,
That we would love to interview.
absolutely.
Mhm.
We've already found that out, just pulling people from here, there, whatever. Everybody has a story, like you said, Ben. So that would be another thing. Like, tell us a common person,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that you'd like
Yeah,
us to
make some
interview.
suggestions. Yeah.
I would love it.
Yep.
That would be
And-
Help
sweet.
us out on that front.
And as always, the offer still stands. If you go on there, if you do the review, if you do the stars, whatever, email me directly, ben@farmfocused, FOCUSED.com, and you got a shirt or a hat coming, whatever you'd like.
There we go.
And that's a great spot to send us any guest suggestions or whatever as well.
That would be fantastic.
Mhm.
Perfect.
All righty. So should we sign off
Cool.
saying
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that's it.
Merry Christmas?
Merry Christmas.
All right.
Happy
Yeah.
New Year.
Go shovel the snow.
Yep. It's
All
that
right.
time.
Peace.
Yep. All right. See ya.